So today we are doing a beginner's guide to Kajabi. So we're going to be breaking some things down here on how Kajabi works for you, how you can set things up, as well as showing you in real time all the things we're going to be talking about here today. So I'm actually going to take you over to our desktop here in just a moment so you can actually see everything we're talking about as we go through this process. Now, for any reason you do not already have Kajabi and are looking to sign up, I will have a link for you in the show notes down below. It does help support us out so we can make more free content just like this for you. And if you end up loving all this tutorial content, we're also going to have more for you at the end of this video so you can keep on learning more when it comes to using Kajabi. All right, so with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and hop over here onto the computer. Again, like I said, we're going to go into this in real time so you can kind of follow along with everything. We're going to understand what a lot of this stuff means. Now, we're going to be here in one of our accounts. This is just kind of a little bit more of a demo one for us. This is our homepage. You can see it tells you welcome back. And there's a couple things to note here first and foremost. Obviously, there is some data pieces here at the very top. And then on the left-hand side, there are a lot of different places we can go in our account. Now, we will be going in depth with each of these sections here, so make sure you stick around so you can learn all about these individual sections. Now, here at the very front, like I said, there are some pieces of information. This is just set up for the last 30 days so we can see how our content is doing. You can see all the opt-ins we have from our email signups. We could see any comments we might have in our community, any context that we added, as well as any sales that we've done in the last 30 days. Now, there might be a couple different routes that you're taking when it comes to getting started with Kajabi, right? You could be doing courses, you might do an email funnel, you might be doing a product sale, or even hosting your Kajabi community as well. So let's go ahead and kind of break all of this down here for us. So we're going to start at the very top with the products page over here for us. So as you can see, there's an arrow down button right over here, and that's going to take us down to all of the different products that we have available to us. Now, as Kajabi keeps on improving, a lot of times they're going to add more of these sections here for us, like newsletters, a little bit more recent here for us, same with downloads. So first, you can actually go ahead and click on all products. And this is going to take you to a section that if you already have some products, will showcase right over here for you. So you can see in this section here, it has 11 products for us. If you don't have any products, this will kind of take you to a blank starter page to ask which product you would like to get started to utilize. So this will be very similar to when we click on a new product up here on the top right. But the other thing you can do is obviously over here on the left-hand side with this drop-down menu still, you can choose whichever product. So maybe you want to do coaching or your community. Maybe you want to start hosting your podcast on here as well. Any of these things, it'll be very similar as if you clicked on this new product, which is where we're going to go to for our next example. So here on the product page over here, again, it's going to be very similar. You can see all the different options. So you can toggle between whichever one you might be needing. So that way you can go ahead and get started. So for a lot of people, you might be getting started with courses here on Kajabi, which is great. So that way we can start earning some income. And you could see all the different features that it has available for you down here at the bottom for your courses. You can have member exclusive areas, you can have exclusive downloads, quizzes, you could even have text lessons, audio content, and even video content. So if this is the route we want to go, this is going to be very similar depending on which option you go with. Obviously, each one is going to be a tiny bit different, but we're going to go with courses as our example here today for our first product we're adding. We're going to click on the word get started down here at the bottom. And that's going to take us to the verse section of creating our course here. So there's two different types of courses, evergreen or cohort. I can't say that word sometimes. This is where it's like group learning and lessons. So whichever one, most likely it's going to be evergreen if you're just kind of having somebody purchase and do the course on their own. Again, it'll show all the features here at the very bottom so you can kind of get an understanding of maybe which one might be best suited for the item that you're trying to make. So for example, here, we're going to go ahead and click on the word next. And then from here, it's going to ask us to go ahead and title our course as well as a brief description. You can also have this help generate some content and additional resources. This will actually put you on the right foot to get started with a couple different lessons and modules. I do recommend having this toggled on if you're going through this process. Now, one thing to keep in mind when it comes to going ahead and adding your title and your brief description, you can definitely change this after you have this all set up. Like, it's not set in stone, so don't worry about this. But what this will do for you, because this is going to be toggled on, is it's going to help us in that early process of getting started. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug in an example here for you with a title and a description, and I'll show you what this next steps looks like because we have this toggled on too. All right, so from here, you can see we went ahead and plugged in a title. We're just titling this starting a tutorial-based YouTube channel, and then the brief description in here, you can see it says, in this course, we'll teach you all the basics of running a tutorial-based YouTube channel. So I'm going to show you how this small piece of information will help generate the starting course for us. So we're going to click on the next button down over here to show you the next page. Now over here, this is going to be for customizing your course appearance. Again, this can change as well, and most likely we'll be changing it over time once you kind of get a better feel for your overall content. So we can change the different color of text. You can see over here, I'm going to go ahead and change this stuff in real time to kind of stand out a tiny bit more for us here. So you can see things changing in real time here for us. So obviously put things based off of what works best for you. And then here we can go ahead and add a thumbnail image for us, and it does give you a nice recommendation. This is actually, by the way, the same size as a YouTube thumbnail, which is the 1280 by 720. So if you already have some thumbnails or you utilize that measurement, you might already be pretty set to go with your thumbnails. But otherwise, if you're on Canva or Photoshop, you might just want to make sure you have those dimensions set up. So what we're going to do is click right over here to choose a thumbnail to add here, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now, one thing to note as well here too with the choose thumbnail, if you already have a couple files already added to your account, you can click on select a recent file. If that file you want to add is not already on there, click on new file. And then from there, you can see your thumbnail show up here for you. And if everything looks good over here for us, we can go ahead and click on next. Again, keeping in mind, everything we add in here today can also be changed down the road as well. All right, so next up here is going to be the pricing of your course. You can see there is a free option if you want to go ahead and do that. And then there's, of course, the paid option. And what's really nice is here on the paid option, there are different methods that you can charge for your payments. You could do one-time multi-payment, you could do a subscription, or you can, of course, do the one-time payment that is defaulted as your selection. Now, one thing with the multi-payment, what you can actually be doing as well is what they call kind of like a drip feature, where you can have certain access to the course over a certain amount of time. So if you're going to have people pay, let's say on a monthly basis for 6 months, you can have the course pretty much gain access over the course of that 6 months if you want to work it that way as well. So for our example, we're just going to do a one-time payment, and we're going to go ahead and put a price in here for us as well, keeping in mind, again, all of this can change. Now, there is a little button here to let customers pay what they want. If you want to go ahead and toggle this on, this will also have a minimum price. So you can actually put this lower, and then people can kind of toggle back and forth with whatever price they would like to pay. Now, next down here is going to be the payment method, which I'm going to show you in a little bit as well too, how to go ahead and add payment methods. But because on our example, we already have this gives us some options between Stripe and Kajabi payments. And then you can see additional payment options like Apple Pay, Google Pay, and then these right here are like pay in 4 options. So the more options you honestly give your customers, the more likely they are to go ahead and pay for this as well. Keeping in mind too, if you want to skip this section, you can, but I would recommend having this all filled in. Again, we'll show you the additional piece to go ahead and add your payment options to show up on this section. All right, so everything on this section is filled out. We're going to go ahead and click on the next button down over here at the bottom. All right, so right over here, we're actually seeing this happen in real time for us. This is actually loading up our course right here, but because we did that little toggle on there earlier where it went ahead and created a section for us, we actually got a head start on our course here. And so what I mean by this is right over here, you're going to see this section down here, and this is all pretty much pre-made for us because of that checkbox that we did earlier in this process. And this really does help out a lot. Now, I wanted to take a quick pause here during this beginner's guide to quickly mention that if you are also a business owner or getting started with your small business, we want to make sure we have a business bank account and not using our personal banks. And we actually have a company that we partnered up with called Relay Bank that offers completely free banking when it comes to running your small business, from having multiple accounts to earning money on your savings and debit cards that you can utilize for your small business with no minimums. Now, if you want to go ahead and check out Relay Bank, I will have a link for you in the show notes down below. That will actually get you a $50 sign up bonus for going through our link exclusively. So that way you can get your small business bank account up and running. All right, so going back up here towards the very top of this, just so we can kind of give some examples of what all this is here for us. So again, this is now our course that we have put together. And we're going to go ahead and break this down a lot more. Now, this is not available for anybody to purchase just yet. So we want to go ahead and make sure that we have all this cleaned up before we go ahead and send people over. Now, you can see over here on the right-hand side, this all says draft, which means none of it is ready for us. And you can see there are toggle buttons over here to collapse and expand our sections. So you can see how there's going to be our modules, as well as if we do the toggle down, these are different lessons within that module. So for a lot of course makers, they typically like to have a couple different modules and then some pieces inside of them. Now you can go ahead and add additional modules here if you want to, or what they call submodules, lessons and quizzes. And then if you want a completely new module, you can go ahead and click add content and hit module right over here. And what's really nice too is if you make a lesson, you can go ahead and move it and drag it over to different lesson plans. So you don't have to go ahead and remake it in a new section. You can just go ahead and drag and drop in these different places. Now here for us, we can go ahead and do some edits with our module. We can just see what the module would look like. We can also delete it. And then same thing with our lessons over here. We can edit the lesson. We can look at the comments in the lessons. We can preview it. We can also delete this as well. Now, once a module is ready and once a lesson's ready, you can go to the draft section over here and hover over to publish, and then that will now be published for us. So we can go ahead and hit publish. Now you saw another option there for you. I'm going to go to the next module and show you. There is this over here where you could see the drip as well as lock. So this was that mention I had earlier, which was if you want to have things come out over time, this would be considered in the drip, and it would tell you how often after somebody enrolls do they have access to this product. So if, again, you're doing a 6-month payment, maybe it's, every 30 days or whatever, they'll have access to that next lesson. So you can go ahead and do that if you wanted to. Now I'm going to show you first and foremost what the module looks like. This is just super basic. It's just an introduction title, description, and then a thumbnail for this. Again, same dimensions. You can click on select image to go ahead and add one there and save this section. Now the actual lessons here, this is where you're going to go into a lot more depth. This is where obviously all the learning is going to come from. So we're going to click on edit lesson. That's going to take you to this page over here. So you can have a title for it. You can put the lesson number if you wanted to. And then from here, you can go ahead and obviously have it selected under the module, which we saw earlier, but you can remove it or change it here as well. Now under media, it's going to ask if you have anything here for video or audio. If you click on these, you'll see the new options to go ahead and upload a file to this section. If you don't have any, no problem. You can go ahead and fill this all out right over here for your actual lesson. You could do any downloads as well too here for you. Click on add file and add that download for people to have access to in this section. Now, automations here at the very bottom are really great for making sure that things are moving along without you needing to be involved on a regular basis. So if you have an email sequence after a lesson's done, or you have a reward that you want to give people, if you click on this, you can see when this lesson is complete, then what's going to happen is you can offer them additional offers. You can, again, go into that email sequence, maybe register a tag on them, send them an email, maybe a coupon for, a free product if they completed it. Maybe that was an award that you gave them. All of that can be done in each single lesson, which is always a great thing. Now on the right-hand side here, you can see you could delete the lesson just as a heads up. And then for comments, you can have it visible, hidden, or locked. So whichever works best for you. And then every lesson can have its own little thumbnail. Again, same dimensions as well too. So they keep things very clean and easy to go with. And then you can change the status in here as well from draft to publish or from publish to draft. And if everything's done, you can click on save right up here on the top right. And then you can go back to your main page by clicking up on the top left over here where it has your title for the module. And then it takes us right back over here for us to go ahead and work on the next lesson that we wanted to. So we can go ahead and move these to publish as well. Now, again, you can move them once they're ready. You can go back to draft if you need to change them for any reason as well. Now, for example here, I'm going to go ahead and publish all of these really quick. And then I'm going to show you what this all looks like on the preview page. So that way, this is what your audience will see when they are purchasing these products. So that way, they will be able to utilize and learn from your lessons here. Now, one thing I do want to quickly mention too, because we did use that process to kind of get this started, for the most part, it is a really good starting point, but you definitely will most likely want to be going through and doing a lot of edits in here. Obviously, for something like this, we'd want to be adding, visuals, maybe some images. We might be wanting to add audio files on there or video files, as well as all of those downloads as well. Now, in order to see the preview of what your customers are going to see, there is this little eye icon. I'm going to kind of magnifying that right there for us for just a second so you can see that. It's right next to this little purplish dot and then the 3 horizontal lines. So we're going to click on this, and that's going to take us to a page that looks very similar to this. Now, there's obviously a lot more setup when it comes to doing the basics of what your website would look like. But for our beginner's guide here, I just want to showcase what this is going to look like. We obviously don't have any thumbnails for any of these images here, but you can see these are the 3 modules. We got 1, 2, and 3, and each module has these 3 different lessons available to them. It shows you how many total lessons there are, and then that person can hit start course. So that way they can go ahead and get this learning gone through after they had made their purchase, because it goes into the account that they make here on Kajabi. All right, so now let's hop back over here to the back end of our course. There are a couple other buttons up here. You can see there's a customization, offers, and customers and certificates and settings. So let's just kind of break some of these down. So here in the customization, it is the website that we already have that you can go through. It's a little bit more advanced, but once you kind of go through this process, you can come in here and customize the website. The offers, this is where we're going to get to here in a short little bit as well to be able to offer this product. And I'm going to show you how to do just that in a moment. Customers obviously is when people are purchasing this. This is where it's going to show your customer list here for you. So you can go ahead and download that if you needed to. Certificates is if you want to go ahead and give people a certificate of completion for these. You can go through this whole process and fill all of these things out with a certificate, and they do give you the dimensions for that. And then our settings page here, this is where you can change the title and description as well as the product thumbnail that we started up at the very beginning of this. There is also the option to have live video sessions for this course, and then also available for your community. So if you actually do a community thing on Kajabi, which we'll talk about in a moment, you'll have the ability to enable this for that area as well as having the comments enabled or not automatically for the product all at once. And of course, you could just hit the save button on the top right for that. Now, I mentioned, of course, that there are a ton of other products that you could do, like your coaching and your community. And if you kind of click on these, you're going to see fairly similar processes when it comes to going through this. But what you're going to have to go through is just a few different kind of questions when it comes to setting up this area. Now, one thing I would really encourage you to do is make sure that as you're going through, you're going to have a lot of learnings on how to add your downloads like this, for example, or create your community. And as you go through those, once you kind of get the understanding of the courses or even the downloads, you'll get better and better at being able to create these at a faster rate. So don't fear if you are taking a little bit of time to go ahead and put these together. It does take a little time. Obviously, these videos are here to help you out as well. And then as you keep learning, you'll have more videos to learn from and more advanced. So I went ahead and clicked on all products again here on our products tab on the left-hand side. And this is where, again, you're going to see the list of items here for you. So the new one that we just created for our example here today is going to be right over here for us. And then you could see all the other ones you have in real time. If you need to edit that, you could just click in this section here for you and go through the process of editing this. Now, if you have a ton of different products, you can also search here at the very top, or you can actually go ahead and sort through with like A to Z or Z to A, or whichever option works best for you. All right, so you went ahead and created your course. Maybe you did your download or some of the other options that they have on Kajabi. Now we want to show you what it's going to look like to be able to create a sale page for this product as well. So you can actually send people to the right page so they can make this purchase. So I'm going to actually hop back over on the computer. And now the next section here on the left-hand side is going to be sales. Again, this also has a drop down menu. So let's go ahead and close up the products here. And for sales, we're going to go ahead and do a drop down. Now, you can actually just click on the word sales, but I just want to quickly show you and go over some of these. Payments are the payment options. Offers are the different products you want to go ahead and offer, because you can combine different products. You can sell each product individually. They just actually recently more so came out with invoices, so you can send out invoices. You can also do coupons and then any kind of affiliates. So if you wanted to actually offer a course and then give a link out to other people to promote your course, you can actually do affiliate sales in that capacity as well, which is always really nice. Now, payments here at the very top is going to be more of just going along with what payments are coming in real time for you as well. So just something to keep in mind here. Now, we did talk a little bit earlier about payment options. And again, we will be getting to that as well. So for today, we're now going to go to our offer section over here. And this is where we're going to be able to have our offers being put on the table for people to make purchases with. Now, they did already set this up for us with creating that new course that we did. So that's always really nice. Saves us a lot of time. But what you can do is click on new offers up here at the top right if you needed to. And I'm going to show you what this is going to look like. This is going to give you the option to have a title of whatever you'd like for the offer. So maybe it's a bundle, and then you can go ahead and choose all the products. So if you're going to have like 3 items in this bundle, you can go and have them right over here, and it'll remind you what types of downloads they are, or courses or coaching offers that they will have available for you. So as you're doing this in real time, you're going to see all these changes, but I want to kind of quickly jump back over to the offer that they already set up for us over here, which is going to be for the course that we were showcasing here in the earlier process. So let's click on this area. So that's going to take us right over here. So we have the title for the offer. Now it could be the same title as the course itself. That's not a worry. You can have an internal title, maybe something for you to know yourself, and then a description for this as well, keeping it fairly reasonable. You have other areas where you can kind of fill out a lot more if you'd like. Now, because this was just based off of the product that we just made, it did just kind of put this by itself. You could delete it if for any reason you needed to, but you can also add additional products. Maybe this you want to add with a second item. You can also begin access at certain times. You can also restrict access to specific amount of dates if you really needed to. And then down here at the bottom, this is a post purchase. So it's like, where's the stuff going to go? How's the person going to get their email? Pretty much all the automations that are going to be done for you. So if you click here, you can go to an existing landing page. Typically, I like the members product page. This is the website that you've built out that the people will just go automatically to be able to essentially just start working on the course right away. And then similar to in the courses, you can do automations, which is a huge thing. So if somebody makes a purchase, I like to have them get a tag on that person's contact. So that way I know that they not only made the purchase, but maybe had certain things that they went through to get to that purchase. Now on the right-hand side, there is going to be over here a place for you to add an image. And yes, it seems like there's always a lot of images, but that's great. It could be the same as your actual image for your course on this example, or your download, or even your coaching offering as well too. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You could just go ahead and re-upload the same one, which I'll do for our example. We're going to click on select recent file, and we're going to go ahead and click on our thumbnail, and that's going to fill this in right here for us once we hit save. Now you can currently see this is on draft, and then there is the publish already set up for us. And then there is the get link option. We're going to wait on that for just a second. I'm going to save so the image shows up here in just a moment for us. Now over here on the top sections, there is pricing, upsells, and settings. Let's kind of break this down here for us as well. So pricing, this is going to be the options where we can choose the type of pricing we want. Obviously, we did this earlier, but this is where we can change it. We do not want customers to be able to pay what they want on this one. If you do need sales tax, this is going to be where you can collect your sales tax, so make sure you put that in. And then if you need to change your payment methods. Now in the upsell section, this is really cool as well too. You can see right over here, if you want to go ahead and upsell or downsell. So if somebody doesn't want to make the purchase, you can offer them something less, or if they made the purchase, you can offer the next thing as well in your process. You can click on get started to go through that after purchase flow. And then in the settings over here for you, you can offer this to have gifts. You can also do notifications for yourself. And then again, if you wanted to activate the affiliate commissions for this, this is where you can give somebody else a link. So that way, if they want to recommend somebody to purchase, they will get a piece of the sale as well, based off of the purchases. So what we want to do now is I'm going to just click back over to details to get kind of to this main page here. We want to look at the checkout page, which is going to be up here. You can see it says edit checkout. There is also the 3 dots that are horizontal here for us. You can preview, but we're essentially going to kind of preview it over here as well with the edit checkout. So this is what the checkout looks like. It's kind of bare bones, so we want to go ahead and make sure that we fill this out. What's nice is that there's sections on the left-hand side, or you can kind of just hover over into the different sections and you'll be able to edit, and it'll take you right to that section. So if you were having a hard time finding how to edit that banner up at the top, you could just click on edit and it'll take you right to that section. You could enable or disable, obviously, for that one, and then you can hit save and see the changes happening in real time for us here. And then same thing with this section here. They kind of pre-populated this for you. You could delete the entire thing, but honestly, what's nice is that they kind of do the bullet points and they tell you kind of, right over here, a call to action and any additional disclaimers or details about the purchases. So you can fill those things out and click on save. You can add videos, you can add a hero image, you can add testimonials as well. So everything can be filled out here on the page if you would like. Up to you and how you would see fit best for your customers to be able to get the best information. You can do order bumps here and you can select any offers that you have available. And what that will look like, let me hit save here, is it's going to have this little piece over here at the bottom. And again, you can edit that out if you needed to. In order to do that, you just hit the little X over here, and then that just takes that away for you. Now, if everything looks good here for us, we're going to click on the preview page here, and that's just going to take us to another web browser here that lets you know that you're in preview mode. Obviously, we don't have everything filled out in this example here, but so when somebody goes ahead and plugs in an email and chooses their payment method, they'll fill this out, and then they can go ahead and complete their purchase. Once they do that, they are ready to go ahead and start learning from that course, download that product, or work with you as a coach. Now, I went back to our offers page here. You can see on the left-hand side, we're in the offers on our sales page, and you can actually quickly get your link to that page to go ahead and send to people. You can see right there, we went ahead and clicked on it. And then you can go ahead and send that out to anybody. Now you can, of course, change the prices as needed to. And then on the right-hand side, you could see the net revenue as well as the total quantity purchased on here as well. Now you could also duplicate the offers. You can go ahead and delete the offers. There's a little more button over here on the right-hand side. When you click on here, you'll see those options. You can export this. You can see stats as well if you like. So you can get a really good idea. You can also preview it without having to go through all the additional steps to get to that point. Now, I did mention earlier there are coupons, so I'm going to go ahead and click in the coupon section to show you what this looks like. So here in the coupon section, I did block off the coupons for these examples here for us, but you'll have different types of coupons and it'll show you the number of offers each coupon has. And I'm going to show you what it's going to look like to create your new coupon up here. You also see the amount that the person will get off, whether it's a dollar amount or a percentage, and then the duration of that. So maybe it's one time, maybe it's forever, maybe it's for a certain amount of months. And then you can also create an expiration date as well too. So if you're offering for a limited time, you can have those expiration dates go off. All right, so from here, we're gonna go ahead and go to new coupon, which is gonna be on the top right section over here. And from here, this is where you're gonna be able to create coupons. You could do a single coupon or bulk. We like to just go ahead and do a single coupon here. This is gonna be the code that people will put in. It will not be case sensitive for us. And then from here, you can go ahead and put on the percentage or the amount off. And you could see right now it's on percentage. If you do off, it'll go ahead and have you choose a currency and then the total dollar amount and then the duration of that coupon as well. Now, what's really nice is that we're going to go to the next step here, and it's going to show you that the coupon doesn't necessarily need to be for every product, course, and coaching that you do. You can actually individualize it as well. So for this example, we put example as the coupon code, and here we're going to do percentage, and we're going to do 10% off here for us. It's going to be a one-time offer for people to utilize. We're going to click on continue here. And from here, it's going to have our example here for us. And under the section here, it's going to say include in which offers. So from here, you can click on add offers and you can choose any of them. You can have all of your offers that you have. You can choose select ones. And what will happen is it'll show you which products offers are available. And then you'll also get a special link for each one individually. So you can have it where maybe only a select people actually get that link, where everybody else would have to put in the code. And if you have that link available for them, it'll show up right away when they get to that landing page. So I'll show you as an example. So for this example, I just copied and pasted that link I put in there, and this automatically has the discount of 10% off available for us. So you can see it's normally $5, and then you get that discount automatically at the $4.50. Now, there's also, you could send them the regular link, which will not have the coupon, and they would have to apply the coupon to get that 10% off. So you can actually do either option. You can have it automatically get the discount, or you can have them have to put in the code, maybe a little bit more work to get that discount off of that for them. So you can always, of course, come in here and delete any offers that they have. And again, you can add different offers for this as well too. So if you wanted to add different coupons in here for the different products, you can go ahead and do that. Once everything looks good, you can click on the word done, and then that's going to go ahead and get added right over here for you, which you can always come back into the future and delete the code entirely if you needed to, or you could set it up that expiration date to automatically delete as well. So next up here is going to be the website tab over here. I already clicked on it, so we're on that page currently, and you can see the drop-down menu gives you the options for design, web pages, landing pages, navigation, and blog here for you. Now this, we're not going to go into full detail here as the beginner's guide, because this is going to be a little bit more advanced as far as getting this all customized. They do have some templates for you, which is what we used, and then we just kind of edited things as we went along. I'm going to show you what this looks like a little bit here for you. So I'm going to click on customize. And from here, this is pretty much what we were able to do. And this is what I like about Kajabi. It does make it very easy. I just go to the section I want to edit, and you can see here, click on that, and it takes me to the proper page instead of having to go find it, which can sometimes be a little tedious. They do have a settings here for you to change certain things as a whole for throughout your whole website. And then again, individual sections for you as well. You can put up your store. You can see over here, you can have different settings. You can have like a hero page. You can have your tabs up here at the very top. Whatever options work best for you, you can go ahead and do that process on your own. Now, like I mentioned, because this is a beginner's guide, we're not going to go into this bigger detail because this is its own separate video, which in the future I will do here for you as well. So you can learn how to set up a page. So that way, when people go on, like this preview page here, it'll look really good. You can click on buttons, go to home pages. You can click on, the store page, make a purchase if you want to. People can see what things are going to look like and make that purchase and go into your sales as well. Now, one last thing to mention about the website as well here too is if you scroll down here, there is going to be the browse template section here for you. So you can go ahead and get started. They do have quite a decent amount of free options for you. You can also pay for different ones that you can then upload as well too. Just something to keep in mind when going through this process. We went with the Amelia one as well here to go ahead and utilize. We love the setup that this one had. Now, next up here is going to be on the left-hand side is the marketing tab here. There is also the branded app, which we personally haven't used, and it's a little bit more advanced here as well too. So just something to keep in mind. We're kind of jumping over that one. If we click on marketing, you're going to see a bunch of options as well too. We're going to click on overview. Now here on the overview, this is going to be pretty much where we can go ahead and create different types of emails. We could do an email broadcast. We can set up email sequences, which is Maybe somebody signs up for a free email list and then they get a bunch of different emails over the next couple of weeks. We could do landing pages, events, as well as forms that people can utilize to sign up. Maybe we have 3 different offers, like with products, as well as funnels. So they take you through the step-by-step process in each one of these, which is really nice. I'm actually not somebody who's been doing this for very long with Kajabi, and they do make this process easy. You can see all your previous campaigns here on the left-hand side, as well as any of your automations you might have, any of your events, as well as all the different forms you have available. You can go and edit those. Now, obviously, all of this comes from collecting people's email addresses, which is actually the next one up here in our section here. You can see it says contacts. If we go ahead and do the drop down on this one, because I just slid that up, you can see all your contacts, you can see your insights and your assessment as well. So they give you kind of like a rating for every user based off of how often they are opening up your emails. So I'm going to click on all contacts. All right, so we're here in the contact section now, and this is a little bit of a newer account. So right now we got about 62 contacts in here, and we're trying to build out this new email list for us. And I did obviously block out the people's names and emails for them. So you can see over here, they do have names. They have the email address if they subscribe to email marketing, any lifetime value, which is honestly really great. This is if somebody buys your course, gets onto your coaching, or even buys your downloads, anything that they made a purchase onto your website for, it'll show their lifetime value, when they got joined onto the email list, as well as their latest activity. So this will show up if they are going through your email sequences or if they are going through and purchasing any products from you. You can manually add contacts here as well, but if you are using the forms from the marketing tab, that if we go on the left-hand side here, the forms, and people are signing up, that's how they get into your contacts list here. Now here we went into the insights tab in our contacts, and you can see over here, again, it shows you the total number of contacts, how many contacts in the last 30 days. It shows your engagement as well. I haven't been sending out any emails as I'm just kind of getting this started here for us. And it just kind of gives you a really good idea of how things are working for you. This is just great data, so you have an idea of what's working and not. Total unsubscribes as well, so you can see if there are emails that are people are unsubscribing from, and then how healthy the contacts are, if they're a little bit passive, and you can see here inactive contacts as well. So just really great detailed information that you get for utilizing Kajabi. Now, the next tab over here is going to be analytics that we clicked on. It's just its own tab here for us. And I personally love analytics. All the data I can get gives me a lot more information here for us. And so we don't have actually a lot of analytics on this one because we're just kind of building out this site here for us. So we're not really kind of promoting this just yet, but you can see it gives you any purchase information over the last 30 days, gross revenue, net revenue all time. And then down here, you have so many different categories, and they are adding more and more now as well too. So you can look at page views, your opt-in page as well. And then all of these different things, like even refunds over time. So when you click into these sections individually, it'll show you a lot more details for each one of these. And these pieces of information just gives you more feedback to be able to make better decisions in your process as well. All right, so the next thing we actually want to do is go all the way down to the very bottom section here, which says settings. And I want to show you some of the settings, including making sure that you set up your payment methods, so that way you can actually start earning money from the sales of the products that you have on your account. So we're going to go ahead and click on settings. And that's going to take us over to this new page. There's a lot of different settings available for us, such as site details, your marketing settings, your checking out settings, all of the different things that we want to go through and look at. All right, so I actually wiped off the whole screen here for us. And what we actually want to go and look for is the Kajabi payment settings. This is where we're going to be able to have our payments to intake for when it comes to making sales from our products or coaching or anything else that we have available for us as well. One thing I do want to note, though, is all the settings here on the top section. You can see it says site settings. These are pretty much for your customer-facing things. And then down here, your account settings. This is going to be for your personal settings when it comes to utilizing Kajabi. So that's kind of what the differences are here for us. Like this subscription is for our payment to Kajabi. So just something to keep in mind. But up here is going to be everything for the customer. So we definitely want to go to the payment settings over here. Now here in the Kajabi payment section, this is going to be where you can go ahead and start accepting Kajabi payments. They pretty much link up with Stripe through and through. We technically already have it connected here, but does say we have to do some updates for it. But if you are brand new to this, you should be able to see this section here that says, let's do this. And from here, it's going to just let you know kind of the process for this. You can enable the buy now, pay later, which is that pay in 4 section. And then you can go ahead and hit convert now or set up. And for us, because we already had that, it went through here for us. But if you didn't, you typically will also need to have Stripe set up. So it'll have you connect your Stripe account with your Kajabi. And if you actually don't have Stripe, I do have videos here on the channel, which I'll link in the show notes down below because it is pretty important, on the step-by-step process of signing up for a Stripe account, brand new, if you've never had one before. So I did want to quickly just jump over to the Kajabi payments section. So if you're going through this setup process, you might get to a page that looks similar to this, which on the left-hand side shows that you are connecting your Kajabi account with a Stripe account. And you might be having something like this where you have to fill out your information, or you might just have to log into your Stripe account. Like I mentioned, I will have that video for you if you want to go ahead and see that process more step-by-step on creating a Stripe account before having to connect them together. What you will see once you go through the entire process is right over here where it says connected. So that way, like we showed earlier, you can choose Kajabi payments as the way to go ahead and collect. So that way you can, have people pay with a card, Apple Pay, or even Google Pay, or the pay in 4 options as well too. Now, the next thing you actually want to do once you connect your payment is actually go back over to our sales tab over here. And if we click on the drop-down menu, there is the payout section over here that we're going to go ahead and click on. So that's going to take us now here to the payout section, and you'll see any recent activity. But what's really important is this side box over here for us. This is going to be how often we are going to get paid out. So you can go ahead and update this because currently you can see it's set up to monthly, and then you can see which bank account it's going to be getting put into. So if that's not the right one, we want to click on manage. But for this right here with the payout schedule, you can go ahead and click on update. So once you do that, the pop-up menu is going to come up here for you. And there's a couple different things here. You can see the frequency. You can have this daily, weekly, or monthly, and then you can choose when you get paid out for that as well too. So for our example here, it's currently set up to monthly on the 15th, but we can change that to daily if we wanted to, or even weekly. And then what day of the week we want that have that go through. And then you can just click on save to have that changed. Now, like we mentioned, this is a beginner's guide for you. So this is just getting you started when it comes to utilizing Kajabi. And of course, there's always going to be more as you keep going through to keep on learning when it comes to using the platform. And like I mentioned earlier, if you do not already have a Kajabi account and want to get started, we usually have a 30-day free trial you can click on with the link in the show notes down below for you. Helps us out so we can make this kind of content entirely free for you. And speaking of free content, we actually are going to post our video right over here to show you step-by-step questions it will ask you when signing up for your new Kajabi account.